What's the best way to make a ribeye? In the kitchen on a cast iron skillet? Or is it out here on the grill in the open flames? Today we're doing steak two ways. Starting off inside with this nice hot pan that's already been oiled up and it's ready for a steak, so let's just grab one of these and drop it right in there. High heat and heavy meat. You know what that means. We can leave it alone for a couple minutes. That hot pan and that heavy piece of steak are going to really come together, get a nice sear going, and develop a crust. And that's perfect, because while it's doing that, we're going to take this other steak and move right on outside. This grill's been heating up for a while out here, so these grates are going to be very hot. We've got the burners set to high, and we're going to keep them there the whole time. Nothing left but to get it going. Now it's time to let the grill do its job. Let's leave this steak alone for the next couple minutes while we go inside and see how that cast iron skillet's doing in the kitchen. It's been about a minute and this one is cooking. I'm sure that crust is coming along good. The sizzle at the bottom, the crackle and pop, that's what we want to hear. That's what we want to see. Let's go check outside on the grilled steak. You can see this one starting to get a little bit of that grilled meat color and look to it. It's just perfect. Again, we're at high heat. We're letting the grill do its thing. Back inside here, another minute or so later, and we are ready to flip. You see that red juice on the top? That's ready to flip. And look at that crust on the bottom. Just perfect. That's what we're looking for. This is where a cast iron skillet really shines. Nice high heat, smooth flat surface creates a perfect crust, and that's what we're seeing here. It's going to be hard for the grilled steak to be better than this, but I think it's got a chance. Let's go see how it's doing out here. It's been a couple minutes or so since we put this on the grill. The steak's looking nice and juicy. I think it's ready to be flipped. We just want to make sure it doesn't stick to the grill, so we're going to scrape it up a little bit and then flip it right over. Nice grill marks across the top there. A little bit of char in the outside pieces of the fat. Steak looks like it's coming along. We're going to leave it here for just a couple more minutes. We're back inside with the cast iron steak, and it is looking about ready to go. You can see all those juices developing right on the top of that steak. That means it's ready. Let's pull it. Here we go. Right onto the plate, and you know the rules. Let it sit for at least a couple minutes before you touch it. One final trip into the backyard to retrieve the grilled steak. Those juices on the top tell me that this one is done. Same routine. Put it on a plate. Give it a couple minutes. Can you tell which is which? Oh yeah, you can tell. No question on the juice factor. They both came out very juicy using both the cast iron and the grilled methods. Let's take a closer look at some of these steaks. We're going to start with the cast iron steak first because it did finish first. This is a nice hearty cut of meat. Great sear that we got on the top. Not as good on the back, but it's also been sitting there for a while with some of those juices seeping out that doesn't help that bottom sear. Let's get right into the steak. How does this top piece look? This is one of my favorite pieces of steak, is that little top piece. You can see we've got a nice color. This is generally the doneness that I really like of my steaks. A nice color through the whole thing. You can see the fats that were at the top of that really cooked into that piece of meat the way that we want it to. Let's take another piece right from the middle of the steak and see how it's doing. Again, really good color for how I like my steaks. Great sear at the top. This one had that nice, crispy flavor that you get from a seared steak. Everything came out perfect. Okay, on to the next one. We've got the grilled steak. Its time has come. Let's cut right into it. Here it is, that top bite that I love. Let's see how it looks. Nice color. That looks like a great piece of steak. You can really tell that the fat cooked into the meat, which is going to give it a lot of flavor. Love those grill marks at the top. Let's take a cut right from the middle and see how it's looking. Oh, just a perfect color for how I like my steaks. What I will say is the big benefit that we're getting from this grilled steak is those fat pieces. They get cooked through a little bit more on that grilled steak, and they come out just mouth-watering. You can just eat every piece of fat, and it's perfect. So what is the best way to make a steak? Well, I'm not sure that there is one. I think it comes down to preference and what you're in the mood for. With the cast iron steak, you're gonna get a nice crispy outside crust and a really buttery flavor that cast iron really draws from the cut of meat. On the other hand, with the grilled ribeye, you get much more of a beefy flavor that just comes naturally out of the steak itself, and the fat pieces are nice and crispy on the outside and then melt in your mouth soft and flavorful in the inside. Well, I've tried it both ways and I can't seem to choose. What do you think? What's the best way to make a steak?